What's up? Finally back with this NBA draft class update. This is the second one since I rebooted the whole thing to try to make sure that the ratings and everything was actually as realistic as possible. Also redoing some faces after the base roster that I ended up using. So this is Mateusz Ponitka, and in an effort basically for me to make this as neat and as tidy as possible, to you know what I'm saying, to be able to kind of just go through these really, like, I guess as quickly as possible. I have kind of outlined out how I'll do this going forward. So I'm gonna give like a major strength, what I perceive as a weakness, the key stats and traits, and then I'll go ahead and let you know what the overall rating is for the player. But so this is Mateusz Ponitka. He is from Ostende. That's the squad that he plays for. He's 6'6", 211 pounds, 21 years old. He's going to be about 22 by the time the draft rolls around, I believe. He's actually from Poland. Right-handed guy, shooting guard, not an exceptional athlete. Also doesn't have extremely long arms. His wingspan is only measured as 6'6". He may actually not even get drafted, to be honest. So you could be looking at a guy that gets drafted, maybe next season if he pulls his name out of the draft or whatever. But he did withdraw his name from the NBA 2014 draft last year in June. So we'll see if he does that again this year. But if you're looking at key statistics, this guy's a pretty good scorer. He's a pretty good scorer. Turns the ball over a little bit too much. So that's another that's one of his key weaknesses. Three-point shooting is pretty good, 33% from the three-point range during Euro Cup this year. So there's that. He's got good size though at 6'6", 211, so he's certainly not skinny. So that's what you have to look at mostly with Mateusz Ponitka. I included him because NBADraft.net actually has him going late in the second round on one of the mock drafts I looked at. So I went ahead and put him in there, gave him a 64 overall. So let's move on to the next guy. DAngelo Russell, one of probably the most exciting guys in the entire, in the draft, which we expect to be in the draft. I think everybody would be shocked. I'm not even sure if he declared and I missed it. I'm pretty sure he probably declared already. But DAngelo Russell's a shooting guard, point guard. I'm not sure what you want to call him. I think he's more of a shooting guard personally, but they list him actually first as a point guard. He can really score. 6'5", 175 pounds, so he's a little thin. 19 points a game, 5.7 rebounds, 5 assists. He reminds me a bit of Brandon Roy, so that's a pretty good comparison. Because he's not a crazy run and jump athlete, similar to the way Brandon Roy wasn't. He was a good enough athlete though. Good moves to be able to get enough space to get his jump shot off. He can also turn the corner and get to the rim strong enough and long enough to get there and draw contact and go to the line. 6'8.5", they tweeting about it. 6'8.5" wingspan. But like I said, at 175 pounds, a little bit light. He's a little light. So that would be one of the main weaknesses. But from as far as a scoring standpoint, 41% from three-point range. You heard about the rebounds and the assist numbers. 1.6 steals. This dude can play. This dude can really, really score. So, but because of the lack of athleticism and I shouldn't say lack of athleticism, because he's not an elite level athlete by NBA standards, get held back a little bit on the ratings, and also, because he's thin, got held back a little bit. But he's still got a 73, which is really good for a rookie. I think is decent for a rookie. Some people might think that it should be a little bit higher, but he did get some love when it came to the badges. And so if you get a glimpse of some stuff, some of this might not be finished yet, so don't go, oh my God, he already did him and he gave him only a this. I probably didn't do the rating yet. So he got he had 14 badges. So that's pretty decent. And like I said, this dude can really, really score. So he's going to be one of the fun guys to see where he goes in the draft and the mock drafts on the NBA 2K and that sort of thing. So that's DAngelo Russell. It's time for the next guy. This is Branden Dawson of Michigan State. this is an odd kind of a case, actually, because Branden Dawson's game is that of a power forward for the most part, but he's extremely undersized to play power forward. He's only 6'6". He's a good athlete. He's actually not extremely powerfully built, but he definitely does have a strong base. But you just gotta wonder about him in the NBA because of his lack of size. And the other reason is because even though he's 6'6", you might think, well, he can play small forward, but he can't shoot. He doesn't shoot the ball well. But what he does do is he finishes great near the rim. He's also a very good athlete. He's also an extremely good rebounder for his size and a very good defender. So it was a really difficult guy to rate because if you look at certain statistics, he shoots the ball at a really high percentage close to the rim. Like I say, finishes really well, and his defensive and rebounding numbers you really can't ignore. So since my rating system is based off of statistics, I mean, he ended up getting a pretty high rating, 11.9 points a game, 9.1 rebounds. So I had to hook him up. So he projects as a small forward. So what he would be in the NBA is a small forward slasher who really can't shoot. So there's a few guys out there like that. So it's not like he'd be the first guy ever with that profile. But so let's see what he got. For the rating, I gave him a 73, which is the same as DAngelo Russell. So you're saying, like, are you telling me that DAngelo Russell and Branden Dawson are the same, are just as good? No, especially not from a draft perspective. And basically here, if you look at this here, potential, I only gave him a 75 because I don't know how much better Branden Dawson can get. If he works on his outside shooting and is able to shoot the three well as a spot up shooter, then that could make a real big difference. He's now becomes a 3-and-D guy. But as of right now, he's not that, which is why I'd have to put the potential low for him. But the potential for DAngelo Russell is much higher. So I'm gonna scroll through this. Don't worry about that stuff. Like I said, that stuff is not a big deal. So let's look at the potential for DAngelo Russell. So this is just to show you that all 73s are not created equal, especially in the scope of a franchise mode, or even in the scope of just the way they play on the floor. Because if you look at the 3-point rating here, DAngelo Russell has an 82 3 and a 72 3. Branden Dawson has a 25 3 on both of the 25 rating in both of those because he's a horrible 3-point shooter. So then if you scroll down and you look at the potential, we're looking at an 89 for DAngelo Russell. So that's the difference there. So that's how you see that all the 73s are not created equal. So that's this episode of the Draft Class Update. Y'all stay tuned. Gonna bring you another one tomorrow. And we're gonna try to roll this and keep it going. Appreciate y'all watching. God bless. Peace.